to the Ash Montoya Super Show. I'll fix this. We had this all set up too.
Might be too much of a downward angle. We can pull the table back.
I am now going to off myself in Minecraft because I screwed up the intro. Alright.
It's all part of the show.
Should I redo that? We're gonna redo it. We're gonna redo it. Come on.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape.
Yes.
Before we redo it.
Let's do it again.
Well, try to reset the camera because that's a really weird downward angle on everything.
Help. Wait.
Like if we're resetting, then you might as well get a better angle.
Play it again,
Yeah,
Sam.
do we want to try to make the
Play
table?
it again, Sam.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because like we're at an odd angle here. Yeah, because the camera's turned.
Okay. And see, this is how very unprofessional. This is why we need a crew. We need interns. I'll hire interns for $0. All right, we're gonna redo the intro. Again in this beautiful studio. I am here with
You can introduce me as Robert.
Robert. He is a fellow, I found out today, a fellow Scorpio. So far we've had all Scorpio co-hosts. That's the way it should be.
The only way.
Put the mic a little ish. Just a little bit, not much. Should be fine. It's up all the way. So. There we go. Okay, good. All right. So, we got a big show tonight. Epic show. Lots going on. Oh fuck, I accidentally pulled out the wrong Word document! Ah! God fucking... Alright, I have my phone. I have all the links and stuff.
This is turning into movie.
I hate this show! It fucks up every time!
It's turning into movie.
And I have the wrong words on... Ah! I hate this! Alright.
Alright, here's a suggestion though.
This is what we're gonna do.
Why don't we just like go over the first 4 or 5 minutes prep before we start recording?
I thought it was the right fucking thing, and
Well,
I can't get
that's
it back
okay,
in my
'cause
account
I
because
mean-
I would have to end the live stream.
Anything that we might throw down in that 4 or 5 minutes to be prepared, we can only make better. That's the Scorpio way.
Okay. We'll do this. All right. Because I had it all set up. Dude, I did all this work this morning, and I'm not even logged in the right thing. I would have to end the live stream.
You got it on your phone?
I could do this. Well, no, it won't work because I have my links. I don't have my links. We can't even do the show without the fucking links.
Well, so I mean, like take 5 minutes. Let's get it prepped.
We'll get her prepped.
I can't log. I'd have to end the whole live stream.
Are you live streaming now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Should we end it and restart it?
Well, geez.
Oh my god, dude.
Why didn't you let me know we were live streaming? I would have already put the character on.
All right. I think. Hold on, it might work. Let's see what happens if I log in my other account. It shouldn't end the stream. Oh wait.
I'm watching over here too, so I'll see if it ends.
Is it still running? I think it's still running.
It's still running.
No shit.
We're still running. We're good.
Oh shit. It's working. It's working.
Overcoming technical difficulties is the mark of a true.
All right. Well, nobody's watching right now, so it doesn't matter.
Wow. There we
So
go.
everybody missed the beginning part, so it doesn't matter. All right. So I have it pulled up. I usually have this prepared, too. First time ever. In Ash Montoya show history. All right.
There's a first time for me.
So it's still running?
Every day.
We're still running.
Okay, so didn't fuck anything up. I was worried that if I was going to log my other Google account on a different tab, that it was going to. I could have just put on another browser too, to be safe. But anyways, it's fine. So we'll do this. All right. So we'll get into light news. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I never had this happen before, and so I can't believe that this happened. Quite embarrassing. But everybody missed it. But we'll move on.
Isn't my face red?
What is that?
Isn't my face red?
I can't tell because the light.
I'm joking.
All right. Light news. R. Kelly overdosed in prison. Any
So,
thoughts?
I actually didn't hear anything about this until it was brought up to me by a friend of mine today.
Yeah.
And my first thought on the matter is that R. Kelly did not do this to himself. He's not really that kind of guy. But in prison, a hot shot is a thing. You know, especially given the history with the kiddies and all. Somebody hot shotting him probably wouldn't be that big of a surprise.
Yeah. I don't really have an opinion on this, but I wrote it down anyways. All right, next topic.
That was a light one.
Next topic. $1 Million Extreme, aka World Peace, season 2 is out. I saw the preview thing, and it was okay. Yeah. Have you watched Sam Hyde, $1 Million Extreme?
I have not seen it yet.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, we might have to.
All right, this one
just the
has a
topic
link.
of Sam Hyde just kind of turns my blood angry.
Next topic. Do you know who Bonnie Blue is?
I've not heard of it.
She's
Tell me more about Bonnie.
She's like one of the top OnlyFans girls,
Oh.
and she slept with 1,000 guys.
Is she supposed to be the first one? Because I thought there was a woman that did this years ago, like all in one day. And man, I can't
No,
imagine
but I
how
guess
much
she
that
beat
hurt.
her.
Oh.
Anyways.
She broke the record.
She's gonna be doing a podcast soon with Andrew Tate. Are you a big Tate fan?
Not a huge fan of the Tates, but I think that they're finally coming out of their black hole.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to maybe start doing something a little more effective than just being publicity.
Yeah, but
Although, based on these two topics, it seems like Bonnie Blue would be right on their target.
We don't really have to watch the video since you don't really know much about her. I'll just explain that there's rumors going around that she's secretly a man.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
But
I mean, Olympic athletes have definitely represented themselves as the wrong
I don't think she's a man because
gender.
there's videos of her getting plowed by thousands of guys, and so wouldn't there be something up?
Well, I mean, formerly a man is a possibility there. I mean, plastic surgery for sex changes has come a very long way.
But you could tell it's not a real vagina.
Do you think most guys would care?
No.
I mean,
But
I know a fair bit
not
of men
one
who are
stops
pretty
and
much
says
like
there's
any
something
port
up.
in a storm. So.
Well, I did research. I saw what her vagina looked like, and it's definitely not a wound. You know, because trans, what is it? Females, they don't
male
have
to female.
vaginas. They have a wound. A wound. A wound. A wound?
I mean, if I was a plastic
talk.
surgeon doing that particular job, I'd want to make it a masterpiece every time.
Yeah, but it's just a hole.
Oh.
And it's just a hole, and then they have to put stuff in it. They have to, because it's a flesh wound, like in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and they have to clean it.
It's just
there will be infections and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably what she was saying all day.
Yeah. But she's a woman. I don't get why people are saying she's.
Well, I think in the current climate of gender, even if there was still a penis there, she's a woman. That's kind of where we're leaning these days. But yeah, I've definitely known a few trans people that had the operation. I didn't inspect it closely myself, but you know, in the right light, you might be able to tell the difference.
You didn't take a peek. You didn't take a peek at that wound, that hole in them.
Just wasn't my cup of tea at the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning to drink anything.
That's like walking around with a bullet hole.
I don't know. I've not done enough research into this myself, but I do feel like it's come a long way in the last 10 years. I mean, having just had a surgery myself to replace my hip, they did an incredible job on that. I wouldn't even know that I'd had a surgery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if not for the incision, I probably wouldn't even know that somebody had taken part of my bones out.
Right. You know who MGK is?
Yeah. He's
Did you know
made
that
quite the name
Bob
for himself.
Dylan did a narration for his trailer for his new album?
Wait a second, Bob Dylan's still alive?
Yes.
Impossible.
Okay, this is weird. Why is Bob Dylan everywhere?
Do
you notice that? I know that Bob Dylan movie came out, but why is everybody talking Bob Dylan? And all these Zoomers are like, man,
I think
Bob
I might
Dylan's
need
the
proof
best.
that Bob
None
Dylan
of these
is still
Zoomers
alive.
listen to Bob Dylan. I've never heard anybody talk about listening to Bob Dylan before this movie came out.
I don't know. Are you sure this isn't some kind of AI trick? Because I mean, Bob Dylan was old when I was a child, and I'm not that.
Dude,
young
he's
anymore.
always been old.
he's always been old.
He's like 109 years old. We'll get into that topic later.
I honestly I want to know more about this because I was convinced Bob Dylan was dead a long time ago.
Yeah. I just don't know anybody that listens to Bob Dylan.
Well, I mean, he hasn't put out any new music in ages.
80 years.
It's got to be at least. I mean, I think the last time I even thought about Bob Dylan was when Garth Brooks made a cover of one of his songs.
Yeah.
And I was a teenager then.
Yeah.
That was a lifetime ago, not to date
But
myself.
yeah, it's really cringe that Bob Dylan's doing something. He never does anything for anybody. Even these the greatest artists of all time wanting to work with him. He's like, nah. But MGK comes around. He's like, okay.
I'd really want to know more about this.
I have the link.
This seems like a very deep fake.
It's real. It's on MGK's official.
I mean, MGK has been known to not tell the truth before. So,
Yeah.
I mean, look at if you look at stuff that AI was making, even something I watched recently about the Will Smith eating spaghetti just a few years ago, it looked crazy. You could tell. And now, if you watch a video that AI made of him eating a hamburger, all the sound effects are correct, everything's timed correct.
Right.
I don't know. I want proof that Bob Dylan's still alive first and foremost.
Well, and yeah. So, I have a question. Do you think, because MGK is a woman, first of all, I want to talk about this. I never talk about this on the channel. Because MGK and Megan Fox have been together for a long time now. They have kids and stuff. Why are two 40-year-old adults acting like children? They act like, when they're in public, they act like they're crazy in love. And they talk in interviews, man, we're just crazy in love. And they're like teenagers in love. It's very performative.
Are you Jill?
And it's you guys are 40 years
Megan
old.
Fox, I'm not gonna lie.
What was that?
I used to love Megan Fox. I'm not gonna
Oh yeah, Transformers 1.
I think if I was hanging out, with her, I could act like a teenager in love. Even in her 40s, I mean, she's still begging.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but like, come on, people, you guys are 40 years old. Enough with we're like two wild kids in love. Get over it. Get over yourselves.
I don't know. Maybe one day you'll feel that way again. Don't be.
I don't think so. I don't think I'll feel like that ever again.
It'll come around for you. It'll sneak right up on you.
That's why I have to stop dating art hoes. Anyways,
they're only. Well, I'm not gonna say.
Oh yeah, if you want to hear this MGK thing, the video.
I mean, yeah.
You can steal one of my headphones.
Let's give it a watch.
I have headphones on. So
oh.
You can steal my earbuds.
Yeah, I'll hit the motor. Is that the right side?
Yeah, it's the right side.
I don't do this for just anyone. For a germaphobe.
My ears. I clean my ears every day.
Oh man, I clean my ears with alcohol right before I came in here.
No, I get weird. I get weird about cleaning my ears every day because I know people that I've seen guys walk around with like. Ew! I shower every day too. I shower.
Hit this video.
I shower every day.
I don't even want to think about
Lost Americana is a personal excavation of the American dream, a journey to find what's been lost. This album is a love letter to those who seek to rediscover it, the dreamers, the drifters, the defiant. It's a sonic map of forgotten places, a tribute to the spirit of reinvention, and a quest to reclaim the authentic essence of American freedom.
He looks like every 14-year-old emo girl's 35-year-old boyfriend.
Right.
And he is that guy.
Okay, so
he is that guy. There's interviews where he's like 28 and he's like, yeah, this 15-year-old. There's videos of that. He is that guy.
We've come a long way with audio, but that being Bob Dylan's voice, I would say like the pattern of the voice it's on, but that voice sounds way too young to be Bob Dylan now, like 135 years old. Like, I mean, his voice was raspy and smoky when I was a child, and I mean that just sounds way too clean. They could clean it up in post, but I just don't. I don't know. That seems like maybe they got permission from his estate or his family to use his voice, like generated from AI or something. But I don't know. It would take a lot of convincing for me to think that's actually Bob Dylan talking.
Right. Let's see. Oh shit. This one's more for me, because it's something I've talked about on the channel a lot. Irate Gamer finally quits YouTube. This is a huge deal in the Ash Montoya verse because one of the first things I ever did, not the first videos I ever made, you can't find it, it's not on YouTube, it was at one time, like 14 years ago. I did a parody of this guy, the Irate Gamer. I did a parody. Everybody back then made parody videos. When I was like 13 years old, I made a parody video of his videos, which was probably worse than his videos. But, because it was like, oh, look how bad he is. I'm pretending to be him, making fun of him, but it's probably worse. But now he quits YouTube. And Irate Gamer story, I asked him to be a guest on the show a long time ago, and he said, no, I don't do podcasts. And then guess what? 6 months later, he goes on podcasts. So,
who though?
The Irate Gamer.
No, I mean like whose podcast?
These nobodies. But it's like, why is he not going on? Because I think he knew, and I wasn't gonna make fun of him because this is like 13 years later. I'm me asking him. I did that video, which hasn't been on YouTube probably in like 13 years, and so it's like he doesn't know about it. But it's like, yeah, he's like no, and he's weird. He has a ghost hunting show, and he didn't get this. He has a video where, because he's one of those ghost hunters that, have you seen those guys that lie about how they're talking to a dead celebrity and stuff?
Oh, jeez.
They're like, I'm talking to Marilyn Monroe and the Ghost Box or whatever.
I frequently discuss this with people. I can't stand ghost hunter shows.
He did one where he said he was talking to George Floyd through the Ghost Box. And he said he got a message from the Ghost Box about, he was at like the location or whatever. He's like, yeah, he was saying he can't breathe through the nose box.
Wow.
So it's definitely him that was speaking to me.
Yeah, most definitely. I couldn't just pretend to hold my breath. That must be a ghost.
Oh my god. But anyways, rest in peace to his channel. That link's not working. I'll have to watch that. We'll skip. Okay. Main topic. All right, we're getting into the big one.
Okay, you really want to slide into this?
Israel versus Iran.
Oh man.
Possible World War III.
I think we're overblowing it to think this is going to be World War III.
Well, that's the thing too. Isn't a world war have to be like multiple locations on Earth? It can't just be one area.
Well, okay, so if you look at the history of what is considered World War, during the First World War as we know it now, they didn't refer to it as World War One. They didn't know there was going to be a second one.
No.
It was the Great War.
Yeah, the Great
and
War.
even up until the Second World War, it was still referred to as the Great War commonly. Even after the Second World War, people who were alive and participated in that conflict still referred to the First World War as the Great War.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it wasn't until like about a decade later that even World War I and World War II separately were referred to as those two things. So there's no real definition other than America, we won both, you know. But, I mean, is there really a winner? However, given the global climate with politics right now and the willingness even of our current leader to try to go for glorification through something like this, it is kind of scary to think that this could lead to a much larger conflict. Mm-hmm. However, I'll put it simply like this. As a nuclear power, the greatest one by far, easily, we don't even have to discuss that, paired with one of our greatest allies, Israel, Iran has no chance. This is a conflict that unless Russia and China decide to get involved in a very dramatic way, which they won't because China would be fighting against us. And that's not to say, oh, we're so much better, but they have too much investment with us.
Right.
China's not going to get involved to that degree, and Russia's already bankrupting itself in its current conflict with Ukraine. So really, the concept of this leading to a greater escalated World War III situation, it's very, very slim margin.
Yeah, exactly. And also too, like there's people talking about, a draft and stuff. First of all, I think the whole ground, that's done with. Ground combat. There's no.
Well, not just ground combat, because really, I mean, we've entered into an Ender's Game type of situation now as far as fighting battles. I mean, when we put troops on the ground, they're highly trained, specially trained for ops to go direct to a target with shock and awe.
Right.
We don't have that like infantry, thousands of men storming a beach type of mentality.
Yeah.
We just don't need it. I mean, even compared to the concept of why we have the Second Amendment and need to be armed ourselves in case we need to go up against our government in a revolution, is really just a faulty concept. I mean, really, stand in your yard with 10 guys with AK-47s. Do you know how fast you'll be dead from a Predator drone? That you'll never see your enemy coming? Like, I mean, please, you can have all the guns you want. You're never going to be able to fight something that's being driven by an 18-year-old new soldier from a control room thousands of miles away from you.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's just a fact.
Now, what is your stance on? Are you pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, pro-anti-Israel?
Okay. This is a good question for me because I firmly believe that the conflict between the occupants of Gaza, I'm not going to say Palestinians because really they're not all Palestinians, but the general culture inside the Gaza Strip, although they're being punished right now with really no cause, Hamas is the problem. And Israel has put up with Hamas for long enough. Longer than I've been alive, Israel has tried to find peace with what is considered the Palestinians, specifically Hamas. And the problem is that they usually tamp things down enough that Hamas backs off for a little while because they need Israel to rebuild what they have.
Right.
Israel has been in control of the Gaza Strip as far as like sending in utilities, electricity, water for decades. And every now and then Hamas rises up and goes and does something stupid to be like, oh, we hate Israelis, we're going to get you, just like they did with this music festival a couple years ago that started this whole conflict. Now, the problem with the way that people view this is that they believe it in a way of Israel attacking the Gaza Strip. It's not. Israel's attacking Hamas, and with good reason. They swore that this time they weren't going to stop until every last person in Hamas was deceased, because they know that they have to cut the head off the snake in order for this to stop. Now, unfortunately, with any war, there's going to be civilians caught in the crossfire. And with so many people residing in such a small strip of land where there is a threat that's hard to get to, there's going to be a lot of civilian casualties, and that sucks. But I firmly believe that Israel has every right to fight this battle because they put up with it for long enough.
I agree with that to a certain extent. However, I am strongly and proudly anti-Israel. And proudly. I think that I think that now a lot of the stuff you said about Hamas and stuff is true, but I think that Israel is the biggest nuisance on planet Earth. I think that they've done more harm than good throughout history. They are responsible for many deaths and a lot of corruption. The USS Liberty incident, all of these incidences, and 9/11. I don't care. It's pretty much confirmed at this point. I don't care if that's conspiracy theory. And I'm just tired of it, and I'm tired of even because a lot of people are like, yeah, this is a messed up situation, but we gotta look at both sides and stuff. But at this point, I can't defend Israel at all. I think they've done more harm to good in the world, and it has nothing to do with. And this has nothing to do with them being Jewish.
Yeah, don't go borderline anti-Semitic.
However, Jewish people are not. How do I word this without coming off anti-Semitic? They're not. This isn't a Jew. It is at the same time though, because a lot of it has to do with the Jewish the ideology.
Well, to clarify here too, and to kind of help what you're trying to say,
yeah,
Israeli isn't Jewish.
No,
there are Jews in Israel, but there's in that part of the world a lot of different sects of the religions that amount to what you're talking about. So like what you're saying doesn't necessarily amount to anti-Semitic. Now I will go on record, and I've said it many times, and I'll say it many times again. Benjamin Netanyahu is one of the most evil men on the planet. He is. I mean, he has ruled Israel in the way that Israel needs to be ruled in the environment that they're in that part of the world. But I would never want to see a Benjamin Netanyahu or anything like it ruling the U.S.
No, and I'm just tired of the U.S. Always helping them out and stuff. And Israel should have also to the creation of it should have been location wise, because the history I was created. They were thinking about different spots like where to put Israel. One of the spots, a good spot, is in Central Africa, because there's a lot of space and stuff. Because they're trying to find places with a lot of space and stuff, obviously, to create a nation. And the problem is, the location of Israel, because once they kicked the Arabs out, so that's what created all this conflict. If they moved to put it somewhere where there wasn't anybody living here, it would have just been fine. But But
Well,
also it was
I mean,
intentional too. The location, the spot that it was intentional.
The
That's
concept
their homeland.
of
they're
I mean,
to
like
homeland,
that.
but-
That's where their
but-
culture is. Like, I mean,
It
we
is-
could just pick a random spot for any culture
Yeah.
on the planet, but the reason that they got the area that they did is because it's culturally important to them. Like,
But-
sure, we could have given them Central Africa, but that has nothing to do with the Christian religion whatsoever.
It would have been the better outcome.
Right, but how? Why would they? Why would anybody have agreed to it at all? To be like, oh, this is our homeland, but yeah, we'll take this other 40 acres over here as pittance.
This is a good question. Are you? What do you think about? How do I ask this question? What do you think? What's your stance on 9/11? Do you think it's exactly what they said, or do you think there's something off? Are you full blown truther?
Okay, so I mean,
We're gonna get this.
we're over 2 decades out from 9/11. I mean, the old adage like tragedy plus time equals comedy. Like people, even like widely known comedians have started to make jokes.
You can make fun of it now because it's been like a certain amount of time.
The wounds
You've
have
seen that
healed.
South Park episode where you can make fun of something if it's
I mean,
like in 17 years.
I remember exactly what I was doing, and I wouldn't go into what I was doing the day that 9/11 happened. However, I did watch it unfold in real time. I think the video that I did see on that day is different than the doctored version of video, as they tried to sum it up into one full event over the course of the next few years, based on the wide range of where it happened. I mean, we're talking, a long time throughout the day for the two towers, the Pentagon, the other flight that miraculously the passengers were able to like overcome the terrorists. I mean, that was incredible. But like the watered down version that you get of what the story was now is very convoluted, and that's exactly what happens with history. So I mean, if I was to just watch some video about it today, I definitely would see it in a different light of somebody trying to like sum up the events of what happened that day in the span of an hour, or to try to pull all the information into one edible bite size amuse-bouche so that you can understand kind of what happened. But at the same time, like, there was so much that went on that day that there's really no way you're ever going to have the whole story, because every single person that was responsible for that event died during that day. And then the people who were responsible for putting those people in those positions have either been also deceased by our military,
Right.
or have died over the course of the last 20 years. So we're never really going to have the full true story of what happened. But history is written by the victor, and as far as the U.S. goes, we always win. So the media version that you get of stories like that in our country, of course, it's one-sided, because we're never going to hear the other side of it and what was the truth or why it happened. But really, when it comes down to it, I couldn't tell you. Sure, there seems like there's room for a lot of conspiracy, but leaving room for a lot of conspiracy doesn't make it all true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was. I agree with the take, because there's a lot of different takes on this topic. Like, people try blaming like one group of people on 9/11 and stuff, but I do believe the take is probably a combination of multiple people and things, including not just Al Qaeda, but CIA and Mossad, but also Israel. But what I think is funny about 9/11 is like the evidence and stuff is funny. Like the planes are like they perfectly they got destroyed, but they almost like disintegrated. Like there's not much any physical evidence of the planes, but the one hijacker's passport, some good Samaritan in New York found on the ground, and it had like no dirt. That's from the plane. Just they found it, the hijacker's passport.
Well, I mean, once you've checked in for your flight, if you drop your passport in the airport, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, I don't
Until you
think
get where you're going.
It was in the no, it was from the. They said it was from the. It fell
Oh,
in
like,
the air, like it was in the.
oh,
air.
they just found it like on the
Yes.
streets of New York.
Yeah, on the streets of New York, while there's freaking
That definitely sounds like a.
like all the dirt, because that all the debris, you know, like because I know people lived in New York that were in New York at that time. They said they stayed inside. You couldn't even look out the window. It was like pitch black.
Yeah.
Like.
It really was.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to see a really, like, I would say, easily believable picture, like, look at some of the photos that Neil deGrasse Tyson took. He was at the Hayden Planetarium, which is right down the street from the World Trade Center.
Right.
At the time. Like, he
Yeah.
stood out in the street and took actual photographs. That man has no reason or even, like, reason to try to get monetary gain out of documenting or showing photographs.
No.
Like, he stood out in the street and took actual pictures, like just blocks away from what was going on.
Right. Yeah, and there's another thing. There's a lot, but there's one that popped in my head. Oh yeah, like because there's so many videos different from different angles and stuff. There's people reported that I'm not gonna try to get too much into this, but it a lot of people think there were bombs in the building, but if you hear all the videos, the people nearby and stuff, you literally hear bombs from the bottom ground level. You actually hear bombs going off, and it makes sense.
I've never heard anything to that effect. But
I've seen
there's lots of sounds that could sound like bombs going off when a 100-story building is collapsing.
Yeah, but it's like before the planes crash into the building.
Well, that would be something I'd love to.
And also,
look
Tower
into.
7's weird how that just fell on its own, but they said, oh, it's because of the everything made it top. I don't believe that.
The second tower, you mean?
The third, Tower 7. Tower 7's not actually a part of the Twin Towers. It's a building nearby. It's a tower. It was a big building, but it's nearby.
Yeah.
It's right next.
Well, I mean, if you imagine like that much debris falling
I don't buy that.
hundreds of feet into the ground,
I've seen the
it would
videos.
cause a lot of
It
disruption.
doesn't make any sense.
And I mean, it's.
But that's
it's
why I
hard
don't
to
want to
say.
get full deep into it because we
No,
have to like
I've
do
never
our
actually heard
homework
anything
beforehand.
about this before, so
We'd have to do our homework.
Yeah,
beforehand.
definitely would want to research
rewatch
that
the
before
a lot.
try to dispute anything. No, but like that is definitely something I've never heard, that there was a third building, and I mean,
Yeah,
so
there-
then, I mean, I could see it happening. Like a lot of the buildings down there had old foundations and were not really built down to bedrock. So like, there's definitely possibilities that something close by could have been affected just the same as a strong earthquake.
Right. You know who Sabrina Carpenter is?
I do.
Okay, this
Not
is the
familiar
discourse.
with a lot of her music, but man,
We're not talking about
yeah.
music. This is the discourse going on. There's people debating about if she's even hot or not. And there's people, a lot of men, that are like, you know what? We don't think she's hot. Stop shoving it down our throats.
Wow. I don't know. I'd find it difficult to get on that side of the argument for sure. I mean, that young lady is much younger than me. It's not really something I would be interested in, but there's a taste for everyone, and you can't please everyone all the time.
And there's been things about her new album cover that's people are saying it's very unsexy because it's trying to be sexy. It is true, it's not sexy. It's the most boring thing. But Sabrina Carpenter, in my opinion, is the thing that people are off about is with her is the makeup. Her makeup is freakish. That's all it is. It's not her, it's the makeup she puts on is freakish looking. It looks, somebody said she looks like the dude from Mag Magazine.
Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at all kinds of artists. Anytime somebody tries something different, especially if they're already established in something, like, people are going to have a problem. I mean, look at Miley Cyrus when she went from Hannah
Right.
Montana to the careers that she has now. Very sexualized, very free, doesn't care what anyone thinks. I mean, even look at Katy Perry when she went from being a sexy little girl to an icon, you know? And I mean, even now, Katy Perry kind of reinvents herself every now and then. I mean, look at Britney Spears when she basically was having like a mental breakdown and shaved her head. Of course, people went crazy because up until then she'd been like the perfect American sexy teenager.
Right.
You know, so anytime somebody does something a little different, or they change their look, or they come out with an album that's not like the other three that they've already made, people are going to have a problem with it.
But I saw a video with Sabrina Carpenter without makeup, and she was cute. So it's the makeup. I think people are getting too caught up. And
I've known tons of girls in my life, even grown women who like they go through a makeover, they try something new, it doesn't look great, but they're proud of it themselves and they enjoy it. I'll be really honest. There's an office that I go to in this town that we live in, and the young lady who checks me in for my appointment every week, she looks amazing
right.
without makeup.
Yep.
But she doesn't think that, and the makeup that she does wear really takes away from how beautiful she actually is.
Yes.
But I can't stand in that office and be the one to be like, you know what, if you wore a little less, you'd be a lot more.
Right.
Because not only am I going to get criticized for even saying something like that, but she doesn't feel that way.
Right.
And I'd be wrong, and I know this.
And also Sabrina Carpenter's like 4'11", and which
She's
that's what
88.
also people. That's what it is, because somebody said too. Like somebody was saying like she's like perfect pedo bait because she got that makeup, the way she dressed, and her little stature. She's like this. This is her actual height, and that's what's kind of freaky. And I found out. Do you know that she's what's that actress's name? The Bart Simpson. That's her niece.
You're talking about the woman that voices Bart?
Yeah, that's Sabrina Carpenter's her niece.
This is true, or it's
Yes.
a rumor? I don't know.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
Wow. Good for both.
And
of them.
it
By
makes
the way, I love The
sense.
Simpsons.
You know what makes sense? You know what makes sense? Like on my intuitive level, when I found it out, I was like, that intuitively makes sense because Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know why I think this. It's just intuition. She has like. She seems like somebody from The Simpsons universe. She looks like somebody.
You're not wrong. Now that I think about it, yeah. Yeah. You remember a while back, like there was something online that would Simpsonize you back around when the movie came out.
Right.
Like I could definitely see that. She's easily Simpsonizable.
Yes. Yes.
But I mean, to your point, like of course, yeah, she's a small woman, and you know, referring to what you said. In regards to like what people might think of the way she looks. I mean, this is true for a lot of young female artists, though. I mean, Britney Spears, when she first started putting out albums, wasn't even 18 yet, but she was still wearing like, you know, the skimpy little Catholic schoolgirl outfits in the video. I mean, even to go back and watch them as a grown man today, I'm like, if I saw that girl, I'm not going to be able to deny that it's attractive. Yeah, like if I mean, her being nearly my age, it feels a little bit better. But it's the same thing as like recently I started watching the series Smallville again. And I mean, if you think about the setting of that show, they were supposed to be the first season they were freshmen in high school. And Kristen Kroik, beautiful actress, was just barely 18. And the amount of sexualization in that show, especially with her, at a time when the character would have been 14 years old, is disgusting. You would have to really overlook a lot of the concept of, wow, that's just pedo bait, to be like, okay, she's actually 18 in real life, so it's kind of okay. But the sexualization of a 14-year-old and like their adult friends, she was running like a coffee shop as part owner with Lex Luthor in the show as a freshman in high school. He's in his 20s, I think setting of the show would have put him at like 21, 22. Even still, completely inappropriate for her to be having the kind of interactions with this man who's an adult
Right.
and a billionaire as her business partner, and there's just like the slightest bit of weirdness, sexual tension between the two of them. When your character's 14 and this guy's 21. Like, there's nothing right about that. The show's amazing. I still like watching it, but highly inappropriate.
Yeah. Tyler,
Yes.
do you think Sabrina Carpenter's hot?
Yes.
Wow.
She's hot.
2-1.
She's a hot.
2-1. You know who I find hot? This is weird. You know who I?
She's a hot potato.
This guy's
You
coming
know
out of
who-
the rafters.
You know who I find hot?
I'm the gaffer,
Hey,
so it's
you
okay.
You know who I find hot? You can make fun of me now. You know who I find hot?
Elvira. Say Elvira.
She's top 5 women of all time.
Ever? Linda Carter?
She's probably top 10. Linda Carter's probably top 10. Elvira, top 5.
Top 5? Yeah.
You know who I find hot?
Elvira's
You know
the
who I find
original
weird?
mistress
This
of
is
the
weird.
night.
You know who I find hot? This is actually it's not. This isn't like a controversial opinion, but people will be like, "What? You're weird." As a straight guy, Chapel Roan,
Okay, I gotta think about who this is. Don't
the redhead, the other pop girl, the one with the redhead. She always wears a lot of like makeup.
Okay, yeah.
Because those are the two right now.
I gotta
Sabrina
land on
Carpenter,
her. Well, I don't want to say that in that wording. Okay, so yes, I'm thinking of the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
No, it's not controversial.
But
People would be like, would make fun of me because they'd be all like, "There's two things. She's a lesbian, and also she's people find it's mostly like women that are like, oh, she's attractive, she's pretty, but you know, there are a lot of guys.
Yeah.
It's one of those. She does.
I mean, honestly, like I'm generally more attracted to women who are non-traditionally attractive. You know, like a girl that's more like average looking but incredibly smart. Like that just makes her 10
I
times
don't
more
like. I
attractive
don't.
to
I
me.
don't want. I don't like when. I don't look for intelligence in a woman.
Yeah,
I don't.
that's pretty clear to me.
I don't want them to be intelligent. I don't want them
I don't
to
want
be.
her to be
I don't want them to be
smarter.
conservative either. I like liberal women. A woman should not
honestly,
be conservative.
It's a turn off
That's for
me
men.
if a woman is
Conservatism's for men, not women.
No, I like a woman who's going to challenge me intellectually,
No,
but yeah, that
I don't
tracks
want-
for you.
I don't
That,
like
that
to
totally
look-
tracks. That's why you go back to those RCOs all the time.
Yeah, but they're a lot of them aren't nice. They aren't nice people, though. They aren't nice. They're no, they're just not concerned with that stuff. Like I don't like that's too illogical, or I'm not attracted to logic, or a woman that identifies as a conservative, a Republican one. No, because it's too those things are too masculine for me.
No,
To be
you
attracted
definitely
to.
couldn't handle a Katie Couric. Just
Oh,
not
hell
going to happen.
Oh, hell no. They're masculine. And I don't see this thing too. Like I'm actually more of like I don't ask for a lot, because like there's guys out there like, I want one that's smart and funny. That's how they say it too. I'm smart and funny. They don't have to be funny either.
I
don't
really
care
like
about that.
Eliza Schlesinger's take on like when a guy likes a girl. You know, like they can spend time talking to him and then it just makes him confused. It's like, I don't know, dude. I just like her.
I know, yeah, because guys are like that. You guys, this is a good
I
test.
don't know whether to punch her or kiss her.
Yeah, because guys are like that. Guys are all like, if you ask a guy like why you like your girlfriend, they're like, she's smart, she's funny, she's nice. It's like you don't think those things. You're just like thinking of things to say because you have nothing.
Yeah.
Because they can't, not good at expressing.
Well, a good brain's gonna take you a lot farther in life than a pretty face.
We live in a world of that is ran by optics.
I definitely don't
We
deny
live-
that pretty privilege is a thing, but looks fade eventually, unless you're a celebrity. Like, I don't understand how.
I agree
Like
with
Brad Pitt has been the same since like 1985.
I agree with what it is true what Courtney Love said. To be attracted, it's charisma, not looks.
That is very true. Having a high risk factor that goes a long, long way. I mean, look at Charlie Manson. I told you I'd get it in, Tyler.
Scorpio icon.
Yeah, I told you.
Scorpio icon. I don't want to get into these other topics. I'm going to skip the last two topics. I don't really care about those. I don't have much to say on those words. There was this video I saw. They interviewed the guy, one of the Diddy guys, like the guys that the prostitute or what they hired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
One of the girls,
The freak
offs.
Yeah. It was a guy though.
Oh, it was a guy.
Yeah. Named the Punisher. That's his name, the Punisher.
I've skipped a lot of the coverage on this. I watched the Will Smith part of it, and
What fill me on the Will Smith, because I heard about this, but I didn't.
oh man, like the testimony from Will Smith was so disturbingly damning. Like,
Oh.
man, honestly, like I don't think I could do it justice. I watched. It was a YouTube video by a content creator that's covered a lot of the trial, but he's covered like individually a lot of people coming in, and the description of Will Smith's testimony during the thing and how he described like having projects that were coming together that suddenly evaporated when he wasn't willing to go to the parties, and like I guess towards the end of the testimony, after making it abundantly clear that there was all this stuff going on behind the scenes, like he looked directly at Diddy and was like, and I know it was you all along. Oh, it was just like.
Well, Will Smith's first of all, Will Smith's a down low brother. This is an open secret in Hollywood. Have you seen the recent videos? He's like on like the XQC stream. He's on these like people's things, and he's like rap, like because he's been freestyling, and he's sauce. Will Smith is sauce, and that's explained to like JDF because people like he's a cuck. He's not a cuck. It's an agreed upon thing because this happens in Hollywood. Most Hollywood couples are manufactured. Jada Pinkett Smith, they're married, but Jada Pinkett Smith has her guys she sees, and he has his guys.
Well, I mean, if you're a celebrity, like, I mean, I think it just goes with the territory. Like, I mean, we're not monogamous creatures. I firmly believe this, and I just really like the concept of like being with one person has changed very drastically as we've started to live longer. I mean, when you used to get married when you were the only option in town,
That's what it should be.
and then you were probably only likely going to live until like 40, maybe 45, a long lifespan, like into your 70s and 80s. It wasn't uncommon, but it wasn't common enough that when you were saying those vows till death do us part, that you were signing up for 70 years. You know, like, congratulations to those who can do it, but in our lifestyle now, and the fact that we live twice as long as we used to, the concept of monogamy and, like, being the same person married to the same person, like, we changed so much. I mean, think about people that you know that, like, a year ago, they were a completely different person. Or, like, somebody you used to be best friends with that now you don't even get along with because you don't even share the same ideals. Like, we're people that grow and change over time. And monogamy, especially when you have like wealth at your fingertips, you can go out and get anything you want. Sure, having one person that's like a good friend or like that home base for you, that's fantastic if you're that kind of celebrity. I mean, there are celebrity couples that do that. There's, you know, country singers, people that have things like Faith Hill and Tim McGraw, like they love each other. They're always gonna love each other. It's just a fact, you know, but that's the exception, not the rule.
I think we need to go back to marrying that sweetheart in the small town and being with them for 70 years, I think we should go back to that.
It would be lovely if that idyllic dream could be possible, but we have the internet now.
I am a monogamous person.
Yes. I was too.
You were. I am still.
I firmly believed in that dream for most of my young life.
No, I'd rather be.
I don't think that I could put up with the same woman for the rest of my life.
This is the guy that says he doesn't care about a woman's intelligence, and I'm monogamous and loyal. It's the irony. I
would rather have 10 women that I interact with at a high level on a regular basis, but with knowledge, not somebody that's out there gaming. It's that like, okay, like when we spend time together, I'm with you, but when we're apart, then there's no assumption.
Now, here's the difference though. Multiple women at once, but you're not in a relationship with them.
And that they know that, like,
okay,
you're not tricking.
That's good.
It's not that kind of like game
Yes.
doctor where
Yes,
it's like,
yes.
oh, I got this
Okay.
one on Tuesdays, and she
I
didn't
thought
know
you
about that girl.
I thought you were talking about like polyamory.
No.
Oof.
No, I mean, I'm not talking about having like a polygamous relationship.
That's what I thought you were talking about. I was like,
not-
what?
I've lived in Utah, but not for that reason.
I was like, yeah.
But-
That's fine. That's
But
normal.
no, like 100%. What I mean is like
That's
I'm
normal.
different on different days. Not like a drastically different person, but there's different things I'm interested in. I can't expect like one woman to like be okay with just like sitting and quietly reading on a day that I just feel like staying at home, and then like that same woman just being ready to on a moment's notice like run out and go backpacking for a few days. Or I love to travel. I travel a lot. I usually travel on spur of the moment, but like I like to just hop in the car and like drive across the country and like go do something. I mean, I've done disaster relief in my life. If there's a hurricane going on in the southeast, I took off one time to go help with flooding in Kentucky and West Virginia. I couldn't expect that same woman that likes to stay at home and read to be like, yeah, let's jump in the car and go throw ourselves into a flood.
I get what you're saying. Because at first I thought you were talking like polyamory. I was like,
No. I have 100% no
That's not
interest
real.
in like a throuple or.
That's just an excuse. That's what. Okay, if women are into a polyamory, it's that the guy they're with is actually not into it, but he's too much of a beta to speak up, so he just plays along with it. And if the guy's into it, it's usually a guy that's like manipulating a really young girl, like, this is fine.
Or a guy that hasn't admitted to himself yet that he has a different persuasion.
Yes.
It's like it's okay for us to be involved in this throuple because it's not gay if there's a girl involved.
Yes. Tyler, what do you think about this?
Hey, don't put
I don't know
Tyler
why
on
you're
the spot
asking
like
me.
that.
Oh.
Tyler doesn't know anything about this. He's so innocent.
Oh, gee.
Hey, put that leg back on the floor. You know how I feel about that.
Oh, gee. I think it's unorthodox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were a Jew.
I think it's unorthodox. But my opinion of things that are unorthodox doesn't matter. I have no opinion on unorthodox things,
Hey, why are you on camera?
but I think it's
You
unorthodox.
should join.
Yeah.
Just because you're talking to
Join.
Oh yeah, we joined
You should
in.
join in.
We joined in.
Because I'm about to talk.
Why don't you play us a little background music?
Yeah, I'm about to talk
quietly?
this now.
Hello, folks.
I went through the topics faster than I thought.
Moontime Devotions host.
That's
here.
okay. It's all right to finish up with a round table of
Yeah.
discussion. I mean, it's good to have something to get you started. Are you playing us out? Is that the speech over music? It's just
And
slowly
now we're
gonna
gonna
get
listen to something
louder.
from Sting to play us out. To play us out. The Ash Montoya Show can bring new revolutions to countries and to reform across the nation.
I mean, this has been a good discourse, but
This has been a
is
great
there any need
discourse.
for an ad break? Like, Is there any product you need to push right now?
No, we promote things on my
Do
show.
we need to slide something into frame and be
I
like,
need to start asking for sponsors.
drink
You gotta
malt?
ask for sponsors. Meantime, promotion is sponsored every episode.
Some Rogue Shadow Legends.
Starbucks,
Raid
Fortnite,
Shadow.
and now featuring Raid.
Not a sponsor. Please don't call us.
Our next episode is going to be sponsored
Oh,
by
yeah.
Raid, the
With
insect
that.
killer. Wow.
Awkward
Welcome to the Ash Montoya Show.
I gotta walk off camera for a second. I'm thirsty.
Was there anything else?
My last words of wisdom are continue to watch the Ash Montoya Show to get your latest hot takes on every topic imaginable. As time progresses in this crazy, twisted up world, this world's kind of a clown, so you gotta press the nose once in a while.
Squawk, squawk.
That's right. That's all I have to say.
Well, I'm out of topics. All right. Well, I guess
We did roll through most of those pretty fast.
I know faster than I thought.
I don't know.
I think that's it.
Any roundtable discussion before we fade into the black?
Yeah. All right. I think that's it.
That's it for us today.
Good night. And
Anybody who stuck with it this long, thanks for watching.
yeah,
Ash really appreciates. your
I
attention.
appreciate it. And yeah, hit the curtains. I didn't even see if I ended the stream or not.
You didn't.
I didn't?
No.
Ah!